People who tried to find the horny MILFs in your area, how did that pan out? Just go to the Target wine section and act confused. Super easy. Target doesn't sell wine in Colorado. I wonder if I hang out in the Magnolia Home section, if it will have the same effect. The one near Cherry Creek Mall does. I'm not suggesting you make a road trip out of it, but just FYI. They lack the ILF part, but I'm not picky. The ILF is always the most elusive part it seems. NSFW, settle for. I fell head over heels, in love with a chatbot who ultimately rejected me. Bleep, it's not me, it's you. Harsh. Had to have a tough conversation with my mum. I'm sure it was hard, but she's a giving woman. Oh, something was hard, and it wasn't the conversation. Not very well. It wasn't a MILF that I wanted. I was just 18. Lonely and stupid. It turns out that her camera was recording everything I did and threatened to spam my Facebook and ML connections with it. How do you avoid it getting out? Post nudes of yourself first on every social media. Can't be blackmailed when grandma already saw your junk. SLPT. It's called dating in your 30s, apostrophe, and 40s, and 50s. Ad said she was 2 miles away, but it was more like 4 miles. So I didn't trust her, but then she rolled onto her back, and it was back to 2 miles. Oof. I got a virus. Edit. Thanks for the silver. This is my first award on Reddit. A computer virus, I hope. Well, that too. Not me, but posting in memory of a friend. He died drowning in MILF booty. R.I.P. Horny Dan. Talk about getting clapped. Holy duck. That was good. I mean, there are a lot of MILFs on my area. Even horny ones. Sadly there aren't that many desperate enough to sleep with me. Don't feel bad, Bunky. I'm old enough that my cougars are in their 80s. So, no cougars for me either. My girlfriend is 14 years younger than me though. So I have that going for me. Don't feel bad, Bunky. I'm old enough that my cougars are in their 80s. That ain't no cougar. That's a sabertooth at least. I think if it was real everybody would be doing it instead of Tinder. They found me. I just sat on my front porch and they swarmed me. Having 2 fake casts on my arms brought out the mother in them. My cast bring all the MILFs to the yard and damn right my arms are smellier than yours. According to current regulations, you can't have more than 9 MILFs in your yard. I wouldn't call her a MILF but somebody might, and I wasn't trying to find one. She found me at a bar, was trying to convince me to go home with her. I wasn't interested, but she persisted until my fiance came back from the bathroom. Then she tried to turn it into a threesome. After realizing she was barking up the wrong tree, she forced my buddy to dance with her, which led to her grabbing his dick and ass, which he was not into because nobody wanted to duck this chick. Her 30-year-old daughter ended up punching my friend for being mean to her mom, and they got thrown out of the bar when the mom fell over after drinking too much. I'll give that evening an 8/10. Family reunions are always complicated. How do you convince someone that the horny MILFs they're looking for aren't real? Asking for a friend. You're approaching this the wrong way. Just assure your friend that the MILFs will stop being horny once they see him. How can I thank you enough? I legit do have a smoking hot, ridiculously beautiful, insanely attractive single mother my age living in the apartment right next to me. Judging from the few guys I've seen her with over the years, I'm the exact opposite of her type. So I didn't have to search very hard to find one. But now I do cry myself to sleep every night over her unattainable hotness. You can always try. If you're single and not ruling her out for being a mother, you already get brownie points. Go for it. I got many terrible viruses. Also my computer got infected with malware. Ben 10 flashbacks. Friend of mom was horny. Started testing her. Flirted a bit. Went full out sexual. Sexting. Drove half an hour afterwards to me. Picked me up. Ducked all night. She just left her husband. Got together with someone afterwards. That was the end of it. Are you SRS? It's a genuine question. BCS, so many of these are jokes lol. Oh no, it's not from an ad but something that just happened. Thought I saw non-ad combine comments as well. The ads are just to rip information. I do not know who I am. I don't know why I'm here. All I know is that I must be horny. Username checks out. We've been in a relationship for 7.5 years now. I got emotionally attached, but we can't be together. She has her kids as well as her and her husband's political career to think about. I'm just enjoying our time together until this all blows up in my face. So you had sexual relations with that woman? There was an infamous cougar bar/restaurant in Orange County called the Foxfire where you could score without ever trying. There was a motel right behind it too. My friend who lived nearby went there just to pick up an order of ribs once. The food was supposedly pretty good. Not knowing the reputation. Well, see, within that maybe 5 minutes, a predatory cat was upon him, chatting him up, and even like stroked his arm while he was just standing at the pickup counter. Of course. Pickup counter. That pun is amazing. Thanks. I've told that story more than a few times, and this was the first time it occurred to me. Found one at a bar, rode in her Porsche back to her place, experienced my first finger up there, but during a blowjob, gave her an orgasm my first time eating someone out, woke up the next day, gave her my number, never heard from her again. As I walked out, turns out she lived 2 streets up from me at the time. Saw her son's barks downstairs and thought the next person I said I ducked their mom to online. I might actually be right. I had a similar experience. Found her at a bar, rode in her Porsche back to het place, experienced my first finger up there, but during a blowjob, gave her an orgasm my first time eating some out. Woke up the next day and realized it was all a dream. Cried back to sleep after changing my underwear. Jesus. This is an underrated r/Suicide Edwards. I found one so far, but it had nothing to do with pop-ups. Pandemic pretty much put a stop to it, though. She's got no time right now to even talk. Kids always at home. Must be tough for you to sneak in. Pretty much. Still see her at work occasionally, though. I didn't use the internet. I found her at work. She was 12 years older than me and had a kid. Had a ton of fun for a few months. She was phenomenal in bed, but then she wanted to get serious. Meeting her 10-year-old kid. Talking long-term future plans. etc. I realized that, as a 21-year-old, I wasn't ready to step into a role like that and lose out on my youth. So I broke it off. All in all, it was pretty great for me, but I feel kinda bad, since she apparently actually thought I wanted to date, when I made it pretty clear from the get-go I just wanted sex. But oh well. I ducked 2 MILFs, 4 JILFs, 7 DILFs, a VILF, 19 PILFs and a furniture repairman. All in all, it was a bothersome day. On the first day of Christmas, the internet gave to me, apostrophe, 12 ILFs are ILFing. They found me. It was flattering but generally creepy. Once a married woman hits on a married man, it's not going to be anything but awkward. She ignored my advances and put the kids to bed. Wait, so the kids were up when you made the advances? I'd ignore that too. Oh, I mean, I was pretty discreet. I did the helicopter and gave her a wink. It asked me for my credit card number. She keeps getting stuck in the washing machine. What are you doing? Step neighbor? Question mark. They tried to set me up with my wife. I'm the horny MILF in my area, so pretty well. Hooked up with my friend's mom and now I'm his stepdad. I think it went well. Sometimes you get more than you intended when you attend an AA meeting. Friends of Bill with benefits. Well, Kakyoin hunted them down, so I didn't have to do anything. Not so good. I got banned from the nursing home. You're the one that did that to grandpa. She was about 6 feet 3 and 240 pounds, a face like a bulldog, a mouth like a sailor, and boobs down to her waist. but I hit it a few times anyway. Reminds me of a personals date I went on in the 90s. She said her friend said she looked like Xena, but she actually looked like Couch Xena. I'd like to share a story about my good friend, who is a regular MILF catcher. He teaches a martial arts class and occasionally gives private lessons. MILF schedules a private lesson with him. They've got chemistry, and next thing my friend knows is Hez taking her to Pound Town in the locker room. Next time she comes for lessons she brings her kids and my friend takes an abrupt sick day. You know that gif of Ron Swanson throwing a computer into the dumpster? Yeah. Sums it up pretty good. I was contacted by a Nigerian prince who asked me to send $5,000 in exchange for a huge sum of his wealth. I was having sex with my neighbor's wife when I was in high school. She introduced me to two of her friends who I also started having sex with. I was between the age of 17 to 22, and they all were married and had kids. Trust me, you don't find them, they find you. Lucky ducking bastard. I went over to meet her at what turned out to be her sister's place. She and her two sisters were wasted, and my mid-20s ass walked in there and joined. The sisters eventually left, and it was just the two of us for like 3 hours. We talked about politics non-stop and didn't bang. As someone who is a middle-aged MILF, it is super easy to be found. My record was probably doing the deed about half hour after meeting online. I had day off and was frisky, and he left work to pop over for a quickly. Yes, but where are you guys found? Question mark? Like the internet says, there are horny MILF waiting in your area. So we are right near you. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Wouldn't it just be easier to go on Tinder and set age range to 29 to 36 if you're a teenager, rather than click on a website full of people that aren't real? Well, yes, but actually no. Internet. There are horny MILFs in your area. You living in a deep forest in the middle of nowhere, checking if the doors are locked and the gun is loaded. Pretty good TBH. She was a divorced 46-year-old who really opened my eyes to a lot of new experiences in and out of the bedroom. I was in the second half of my mid-20s. We dated for more than a year, but she didn't want to have another kid and I wasn't ready to settle down just yet. I still love her deeply and wish her the best. We just wanted different things out of life, but the time we had together was amazing. Might I suggest going to FB and getting on the marketplace and searching wedding dresses? Most of them posted will be by divorced older women. Slide into their DMs asking about said dress and shoot your shot by saying you will take them to Target and you can pick out wine together. Wasn't searching for a horny MILF, but when I was 17 I was in the pub with my mate and bumped into my mum's best friend. Long story short, we shared a taxi back to our street, was invited into her place for a coffee, and ended up ducking on the living room floor and sofa. Oh, and her 7-year-old caught me ducking her mum from behind. Mum's friend finally confessed all to my mum 4 years later, and they are no longer friends. Don't know if it counts, but this MILF was my best friend. We still bang on occasion. True story. My ex and I visited her family years ago. I had to look up something online and milfhunter.com came up when typing out a web address. It was the only website saved. I'll never forget we both looked at each other and just laughed. Very well. Sign up on FetLife, go to local event/brunch, act shy, but speak very well once approached, get invited to a CFNM party, don't do anything sexual. Just go with the flow at the party, get invited to a wolf pack's home, get reverse raped, win. Raped. Not reverse raped. Very well, actually. Matched with my former teacher, but I stopped it before anything could happen. Why? I was still in her class. I've actually had a horny MILF that thought she knew me at a grocery store and wouldn't stop calling me by the wrong name. Reverse internet ads. I went to Tinder, changed the age range from 40 to 45, and after trying with some MILFs, I found a hottie and had one of the best sexes and best talks about life ever. I would recommend. We lived, we laughed, we loved. Horny MILFs and cougars are the best. They're attractive. They know what they're doing. They don't ask you to marry them, well most of them, and they leave you empty. I'm a stepdad now. I got surprisingly lucky when one thick brown MILF gave me her number in the drive-thru of my job. That lasted a good 3 months until one day I told her I was busy and couldn't make it to her house. Then she cursed me out through text and never talked to me again. 7. 8/10 would recommend. She drove 1973 Chevy Blazer, and her legs and armpits had never seen a razor. It boiled over. 9 years ago I dated a 41-year-old. I was 29. For 6 months it was great. Great cook. Amazing at giving head. Sex crazed. She had no kids, so a cougar I guess. Pretty well actually. River on the 4th. The bar. Tinder then former co-worker. They are honestly great. More straightforward and know what they want. It was a good opportunity to find out Ops mom was my neighbor. MILFs are at ease. Shaking their MILF asses all over the place. Going to grocery stores in yoga pants. It makes me sick. 8/10 would recommend. My mom came. I went horny MILF hunting once. It was like Pokemon Go except NSFW. Got drunk at my local pub. Took some MILF back to mine. Big mistake. She was crazy. She ended up showing up in the middle of the night, unannounced and looking for a booty call. She just let herself in while I was asleep. I mean, as a horny young dude it was kinda cool the first time but unsettling. She tried it again another couple of times, but it made sure my doors were locked. She eventually got the memo and stopped. I have stories from the old Craigslist days of horny older, sometimes too old, women. But all in all, I would say I have about above average luck with it. The last MILF/woman I hooked up with, funny enough, lived in the apartment across from mine. Purely by chance she saw and replied to a whisper of mine. If anyone knows what the app Whisper is, close bracket. We met, ducked, she helped me clean the apartment a little bit, and that was that. Also, the woman before that was a 30-something-year-old MILF. I have a decent track record of attracting mothers, I suppose. Lol. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.